Good evening. I want to thank you all for being here for this reading of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse went up the clock. The clock struck one, and down he run. Hickory dickory dock.
Excuse me. Only this, and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember it. Was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember rocked its ghost upon the floor.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick.
Nameless here, forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each paper curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? As much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. This it is, and nothing more. Presently, my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. Sir, said I, or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. Hey, diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Darkness there, nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. Marry, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. Merely this, and nothing more. Excuse me. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before.
Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Where's the boy who looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack, fast asleep.
'Tis the wind and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutters, there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. A little Bo Peep has lost her sheep, and can't tell where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, bringing their tails behind them. Perched and sat, and nothing more. Goodness me. There we are. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner, eating a Christmas pie. He put his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider, who sat down beside her, and frightened Miss Muffet away. With such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, but together both they licked the platter clean. Then the bird said, "Nevermore," startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken. "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only stock and store. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give the poor dog a bone. When she came there, the cupboard was bare, and so the dog had none. Of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. Menton croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. She shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife but couldn't keep her. He put on a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore. Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. One for the master, one for the dame, one for the little boy who lives down the lane. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. There was a crooked man, and he walked a crooked mile. He found crooked sixpence and a crooked stile. He brought a crooked cat, which cocked a crooked mouse. They all lived together in a crooked little house. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man's snoring. He got into bed and bumped his head and couldn't get up in the morning. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door.
Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy.
Shall be lifted, nevermore. Whew. Thank you.